The Barnstable Police Department is stepping up patrols over the holiday season. The state legislature is considering a bill that would raise the minimum wage to $11 an hour by 2016. Plus, we have details about a holiday play you won't want to miss. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, December 3rd, 2013. I'm Sarah Mantle. Black Friday sales brought shoppers out early last Friday. Some stores opted to open at midnight. Those stores were required to get an exemption for a town ordinance that requires businesses to close between the hours of 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Police Chief Paul McDonald says that the town is willing to work with local businesses to allow this type of exemption.
But over the years, we have made special exceptions, particularly this time of year. You know, we want to be pro-businesses, and a lot of the businesses depend on this time of year to make the money back, you know, over the last several months. So the past 2 or 3 weeks, several stores have requested a variance to be open starting on Thanksgiving night at midnight. You know, some examples are Sports Authority, Kmart, Kohl's, Best Buy, Macy's, the Dunkin' Donuts franchises. They were all open, and town was willing to waive that variance and allow the stores to be open, which worked out very, very well. And it has been successful. Over the past 7 years, we've allowed this every year, and there has never been a problem.
McDonald says that there were extra police patrols on Black Friday to make sure everything ran smoothly.
Some of the stores themselves have requested specialized details. Macy's requested a police detail. Best Buy requested detail. Kmart requested details. So it did not cost the town any additional money. We put out our normal patrol. Additional officers were brought in at the request of the retailers. And
McDonald says the department will have extra patrols for many holiday activities around town that are coming up.
The Christmas stroll is coming up. I believe the Barnstable Christmas stroll is Wednesday. The Hyannis Christmas stroll is Saturday, then Sunday is Centerville, and I believe on the 13th is the Oslo Christmas stroll. So there will be additional patrols out for that. We also put out additional patrols along the Route 132 corridor. Plainclothes, the street crime unit is pulled off of Main Street Hyannis, and they patrol the 132 corridor where all the malls are, because this particular time of year we do have a problem, as is every other time we shoplift.
McDonald says the department will also be keeping an eye out for drunk drivers throughout the holiday season. A bill to raise the minimum wage is moving through the legislature. The bill passed the Senate late last month. The bill would raise the minimum wage $1 a year over the next 3 years, bringing it to $11 an hour by July of 2016. State Senator Dan Wolf filed the bill. He says it's been too long since the last minimum wage increase in the Bay State.
Minimum wage since 1968 in Massachusetts has gone down by 25%. And I don't want to overburden you with statistics, but if you look at the median worker in Massachusetts, that wage has gone from about $16 an hour to about $19 an hour in that time period. And at the 80th percentile, the wages have gone from about $25 an hour to about $35 an hour. So you have the middle, i.e. 50th percentile, and you have the 80th percentile having gone up anywhere from 18 or so to 40% in those two cases, okay? Again, the top end doing better, and you and I have discussed this over the past couple of years. But what's really striking about the statistic is if you look at the minimum wages, it's now at $8 an hour. 45 years ago, the minimum wage was at the equivalent of $10.72 an hour, which means that since 1968, it's gone down 25%. And you know, the first question I'm asking people who bring this, sort of criticize or chastise me for pushing this legislation through, the first question I ask back is, do you think it's right that at the lower end of our earning spectrum, wages have gone down 25% in the last 45 years? And, you know, people make up a lot of reasons for why they don't want to support increasing the minimum wage, but I'll tell you, that's a hard question to answer. Do you think that's right?
Many business owners have raised concerns that the bill will hinder business growth. Wolf disagrees. He says a minimum wage increase would stimulate the economy.
This is not speculation. We can look at cases where both in Massachusetts and in other states, minimum wage has gone up. It has not had a deleterious or a negative effect on employment numbers, and in fact, what it has been is stimulative of the economy. And one of the things that I'm saying to other business leaders is that I trust business leaders. I have confidence in business leaders that they will be able to successfully react to that. The entrepreneurs in this community are smart, and they will be able to adjust and they will be able to accommodate an increase in the minimum wage such that the business community will remain healthy. We will circulate more money through the economy because, after all, we're putting more money into the hands of people who will spend it. And if anything, it will stimulate the economy. In fact, it will. So, I mean, I want to have this dialogue with other business folks. I'm not going to hide from it because there's a lot of evidence out there that it does not negatively impact employment. And this is not anecdotal. I know there's going to be a lot of anecdotal evidence about people who are going to say, well, we're going to lay people off, or we're not going to hire people, or we're not going to expand. That's not what the evidence shows in other cases where minimum wage has gone up, either in Massachusetts or in other states. So, my immediate pushback is whether or not this will have a negative impact on the business community, because I don't believe it will.
Wolf says the bill now moves to the House of Representatives.
The Speaker has been very guarded on what he says about this bill or doesn't. And then he keeps talking about tying it to a reform in unemployment insurance or to some package that he wants to balance it and give something back to business. I understand that tendency. I'm a business guy. But for God's sake, minimum wage has gone down 25%. And if the Speaker of the House is unable to look at that reality and have enough courage to step forward and say to the business community, enough, we need to help the people at the bottom. The middle and the top have done much better over the last 25 to 50 years than the people at the bottom, then shame on him. And I think that's a conversation I intend to have in the State House. The people in the House of Representatives have to step forward and say it is time to look at this in the face and to understand what these statistics are showing. And when you connect the dots, what the picture is we're looking at, then get off their butts and do something about it.
Wolf will meet with business owners tomorrow morning to discuss the bill at the Heritage House Hotel at 9 a.m. That meeting is sponsored by the Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce. Empty land at the town of Barnstable's transfer station will soon be fitted with solar panels. The Cape and Vineyard Electric Cooperative, along with the town of Barnstable, announced last week that the project will soon begin. DPW Director Dan Santos says it is one of the largest projects of its kind on the Cape.
What this involves is the installation of over 15,000 individual solar panels, which are on the order of 2 by 3 feet, maybe a little bigger each one. So it's going to take up an area of approximately 17 acres of solar panels in 3 locations at the solid waste transfer station. 2 of the locations are on portions of the old landfill that were capped many years ago. They have impermeable caps and then grass on top, and they're going to be installed on those capped areas very carefully, and the structure doesn't get down very deep. It doesn't go anywhere near the cap itself, the impermeable layer that's underneath. So it's been approved by the Department of Environmental Protection for this installation on top of the landfill because they believe it's safe for the facility, but also in providing electrical generation. It's a positive project. And then the 3rd location is another part of the solid waste transfer station, which is not former landfill. This project is going to take about 5 months to construct, and they basically come in and every day as they need these panels, they'll be bringing them in from off-site locations, so we're not going to be storing anything there. There's going to be built day to day with the solar panels and then all connected into the electrical grid.
Santos says that construction will not interrupt day-to-day activities at the transfer station. The Barnstable High School Drama Club is putting on a holiday classic this month. For the first time, the club will present The Shop Around the Corner. Director Ed O'Toole says the play is based on a movie from the 1940s that starred Jimmy Stewart.
If you know the movie You've Got Mail, you know this. 2 people work together and can't stand each other, but they have anonymous pen pal relationships, and they're madly in love with the person they're having the anonymous pen pal relationship with. And of course, obviously, it turns out that they're working with those people and with each other. And it's a sweet little romantic story, but it's got the battle of the sexes kind of friction, and it has a nice happy ending. It's nothing serious.
You can see The Shop Around the Corner at Barnstable High School on December 5th, 6th, and 7th at 7 p.m. There will also be an additional matinee on December 7th at 1 p.m. Tickets are $10 for the evening shows and $5 for the matinee. Tickets for audience members 62 and over will be $5 for all shows. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.